Ang problema ho ni Kai Soto, lelembot-lembot siya.
Sayang yung pagkakataon, napakawalan natin siya.
I don't see Tottenham and Francis working hand in hand.
Hindi pa nilabas ng Magnolia talaga yung buong barahan nila.
Make you guys happy and proud.
I'm not done. I have a lot to contribute to the game.
Baguhin natin yung coaching natin, no? Kaya yan kung gugustuhin.
At mabuhay Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, Mega Manila at World. Pasensya na ho kayo, gulo-gulo ho yung buhok natin. Hindi ho natin sinadya yan, ano? Nagmotor ho tayo kasi bigla ho tayo may naging trabaho ngayon. Pero tuloy-tuloy po ang ating programa. Huwag ho kayong manibago. Hindi ho Martes ngayon, Huwebes po. Special edition po tayo ng Spin POV o Point of View dahil ating nga pong i-discuss ang isang pinakamahalagang topic patungkol po sa isang major event na i-host po ng Pilipinas starting tomorrow. Ito nga po ay ang World Cup. Ang tanong po ngayon, ano ang tingin nyo sa Final 12 ng Gilas Pilipinas? Okay, so i-check na natin kung nandiyan dyan po ang isa sa ating mga desk editors no, sa spin.ph, si Mr. Carlos Acamos, na isa ko sa best players ng naganap na Pilipinas A, Pilipinas B basketball exhibition kagabi. Carlo, andiyan ka na ba? Okay, wala pa rin pala si Carlos. So puntahan muna natin ang atin pong editor-in-chief na si Boss Dodo Katakutan, si Boss Jerry Ramos po kasi, tsaka si Boss Ruben Tirado. Hindi ho pagod sa naging laro kahapon, but sila po yung nagko-cover ng mga activities pa, no? Pre-FIBA World Cup press conferences at mga ilan pang showcase na nagaganap po dyan sa iba't ibang mga venues. Pero Boss Dodo, magandang hapon sa'yo.
Yes, magandang hapon, Snow. And actually, pati si Carlo. So, ando siya. He's assigned sa MOA Arena kung saan yung mga games ng Team USA, and Jerry Ramos and Ruben Tirado will be covering yung mga games ng Gilas at saka yung mga kalaban nila doon sa Araneta at saka sa Philippine Arena sa Bulacan. So good afternoon po sa ating mga suki dito at kahit Huwebes, andito kayo. Maraming salamat.
Okay, so sabi ni Ernst Tech, yari na naman kay Snow, si Pugoy at yung inaanak ni Coach Chot. Kung mababasa niyo ho yung page ko 4 days o 5 days ago, sinabi ko ceasefire po muna tayo, no? Kasi Boss Dodo, di ba? Ang hirap naman na nagkakaroon ho tayo ng bickering amongst us, no? Meron ho tayong mga bisita na. Di ba? Parang walang pinag-iba yun sa bahay ninyo eh. Di ba? Normal na nag-aaway ho yung mga magkakapatid, pero pagka may mga bisita, kailangan maging prim and proper din ho muna tayo. Kasi wala na rin naman nung mangyayari na nailabas na rin po yung lineup. So pag-usapan po muna natin, ito pong Gilas Final 12. Ngayon pa lamang ho, tinatanong ko na ho kayo, ano ho ang inyong palagay sa ating lineup? Palag po ba ito o kakalag? So, i-comment nyo lang ho yan sa baba kung kayo po nanonood sa Facebook, sa YouTube o sa TikTok. Okay? At syempre, request rin ho kami ng heart at like, ano man yung platform kayo nanonood. Pero ikaw, Boss Dodo, what do you think of the composition of the lineup natin na inilabas nitong si Coach Chot Reyes at ng Samahang Basketball ng Pilipinas? Andiyan nga po sina Jordan Clarkson as expected, Kai Soto, Junmar Fajardo, Japet Aguilar, Scottie Thompson, and Jamie Malonzo. Yung mga nasa taas na yan, aside from Dwight Ramos and AJ Edu, expected na yan eh. No? Pero yung mga wild card na nakapasok are CJ Perez, Roger Pugoy, Kiefer Ravena, and of course, ito pong si Renz Abando. What do you think of this lineup, Boss Dodo? Ito ba yung nadali mo doon sa program natin last week? O sino yung mga nawala sa'yo?
Nawala akong isa because I chose Ray Parks over Kiefer Ravena. Yun ang mali ko. Otherwise, I got the 11 right. And frankly, I was surprised Ray Parks was not there. Kasi feeling ko, from all those 16 players in sa pool, so I think he's I think number 1 or number 2 pagdating sa outside shooting this to. And as we've said all along over the last few weeks, I think ang pinaka-Achilles heel ng team na to is shooting or the lack thereof.
Correct.
Kasi makikita mo, you can't really rely on Jordan Clarkson to provide the shooting. Kasi, alam mo yan, from the time that he steps on the floor, marked man na yun. Wala nang ano yan. Sabi nga sa lingwahe natin sa kanto, aasawahin na yan, di ba? Aasawahin na yan. From the opening tip down to the last second. So you can't really count on him to provide the outside shooting kasi lalo na, I'm sure he'll be counted upon to make plays more than make the outside shots. Diba? So, dapat meron sa mga to. And I think, tama yung sinasabi mo rin, Snow, di ba? Yung pareho tayo ng hinayang, wala yung Jordan heading. Di ba? I think even Jerry was saying that.
And Matthew Wright.
And Matthew Wright, I think iba yung iba yung lights out shooter di ba? Iba yung lights out shooter na na pag iniwan mo, parang bilangin mo na yung 3 points, sabi nga nila. Diba? Pero
mga Jimmy Alapag dati type yung mga Jimmy Alapag type dati na kahit from downtown pumapasok di ba?
Jimmy Alapag, Alan K. Dick, mga ganon, di ba? Yun lang mga shooter talaga, hindi mo maiwan. I think this team needs it. And that's why I felt Ray Parks should have got in, but Coach Schott has his reasons, di ba? Kiefer. And I think we'll discuss it now. Di ba?
Pero alam mo, boss, kung yung mga avid readers po ng spin.ph, no, I'm sure na hagilap nyo rin po yung atin pong batikang correspondent, no, our import from Chicago, Illinois, no, ipinaliwanag po niya kung bakit nawala ito po si Bobby Ray Parks, and he has the insider report. Yung mga haters dyan, maniwala ho kayo tindi. No? Isa ito sa mga pinagkakatiwalaan ng mga insiders natin sa loob at labas ng Philippine basketball. No? At siya rin po yung unang naglabas ng Final 12 lineup natin para ho dito sa World Cup. Walang iba kundi sa Give It Up for my main man, Homer Saison. Boss Homer, magandang umaga sa iyo dyan. Madaling araw sa iyo dyan.
Yeah, 12:30. Boss Dodo. Snow, kumusta?
Buti, gising ka pa, boss, ha? At kami nagpapasalamat dahil alam mo,
yes,
yung best na kami hinihila, pero yung oras mo, pero ngayon, pinagbigyan mo kami because very important for our country and for our fellow basketball fans itong topic natin. Boss Homer.
Yes. So, as it pertains to Bobby Parks, Ray Parks, I'm sorry, his camp, sabi na, pwede after na lang the World Cup. In alignment with your calls, no, na, wala mo nang negative talks, no, kasi masama tignan. As I wrote in my column today, it's bad optics when we appear like pelting at our own product. So, but after all as the old saying says, pagtapos ng boxing, then the gloves are out and then we will discuss this.
Pero whether we like it or not, medyo hindi maganda, no, for the image of Bobby Ray Parks, yung pananaw ng publiko na he suddenly abandoned yung Gilas Pilipinas campaign, di ba? And then what made it worse is nakita siya sa Bali, Indonesia, dating one of the popular internet vloggers, di ba? Si Zainab, yung kanyang girlfriend. No, so ano ba talaga yung dito? Side story dito kasi meron akong mga nadidinig, boss, na hindi talaga siya kasama dun sa Final 12, natunugan niya. Ito ba yung ano yung totoo dito, boss Homer? Natunugan niya o sinabihan na siya agad? 'Di ba? And umalis lang ba siya nang walang paalam? Ano yung talagang tunay na story nito ng pagkawala ni Bobby Ray Parks?
Well, he had a sense na sabi nga ng kampo niya, he would not have gone to Bali if he did not anticipate na hindi siya makasama sa lineup. And chicken or the egg, which came first? Did he feel na hindi siya makuha, or did the coaching staff naunahan sila and said, hey, he went to Bali, so we're not gonna pick him up? So either way, it's a bad look for Bobby Ray Parks, di ba? Yeah. If you look at it, tingnan mo si Newsam, kahit nakat na, he's still there. There's a story I read today from our colleague Robin Terrado na nandoon pa rin si Newsam. Even though he knew, he had to know that he would be the last cap. I mean, the idea that they just agreed on this lineup that a day ago is absurd. I think they had already made up their minds. The friendlies had already determined kung sino ang final 12 nila. So, it's like I said, you also have to predicate yung Parks, yung history niya with TNT. Remember, umalis siya for Japan and TNT threatened na hindi ka namin bigyan ng clearance. So there's already been bad blood. The pool has been tainted kung to borrow the euphemism of the 16-man pool. So the pool, insofar as Ray Parks is concerned, already tainted with a little blood, bad blood. So ganon. Sayang nga.
Pero
Because
what
I
about
agree
the
with...
coach? Yeah.
Yeah.
Boss Homer, maputol kita. What about the management and the coaching staff of Gilas? How did they take itong naging behavior nitong si Bobby Ray Parks? Kung totoo, no, na natunugan niyang hindi siya kasama sa final roster at base nga doon sa kolong mo na inilabas, is that duplication ng ibang mga players natin yung role nitong si Bobby Ray Parks, di ba? So,
Yes.
ano yung reaction ng coaching staff base doon sa mga nakakausap mo mula sa SBP?
Well, yung sinabi na, the old saying, di ba? If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything. So, given sa parang may drama fatigue ng mga fans with Jordan Clarkson, Kai Soto, all the drama that has surrounded those two players, kung idagdag mo pa si Ray Parks, then, the fans would be, more disenchanted than they already are. So, they just kept it to themselves and quietly eased out Ray Parks. Kaya nagtaka tayong lahat. And I agree with Boss Dodo nga. We could have used Ray Parks. But, it is what it is. And the team is there. Supportahan na lang natin and we hope for the best.
Si Boss Dodo po, mga kaibigan, amongst the media men, no, isa ho ito sa pinaka-tactician natin. Mga elderly statesman natin sa pagdating sa paglalaro ng basketball. He has been playing basketball sa sports media for like 5 decades. No? Nagko-coach din siya. Yun nga lang, talo po sila kagabi. No? Balita ko, Boss Dodo, ikaw raw yung naglaglag ng laro eh. Sipin tumira ka ng test, tumakay ng 57 seconds na lang. Anong kalokohan yan? Malayang-malaya kang tumira. Pambihira ka naman, Boss. 57 seconds, tumira ka ng 3, lamang kayo ng 2. Diba? Tapos nung final 2 seconds, diba? Press the ball na lang kayo, tabla talo. Binitawan mo pa yung bola. Ano ka ba naman, Boss Dodo?
Maganda, talo. Pero it was very enjoyable kasi Homer, we played a test game. Test game sa MOA Arena.
Wow.
Testing all this, everyone from the table officials to the stats guys to the lighting to the even all the way to the national anthems and the prayers and the dancers.
They do that in the NBA finals. They allow the media to play, in between NBA finals games. So maganda ba? How was it? I saw the spin reels na pinakita yung bagong MOA scoreboard. How was it? Everything functional?
It's really great. It's great lang. Even the game was great. Kaya lang nakatatlong takes kami before we started playing. So na kami.
Pero boss, yung arena, yung mga officials, kasi test run ito di ba? So yung mga nag-referee sa inyo, ito na rin yung mga pipito sa FIBA World Cup if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and even
wow.
Alam mo
May
yung
mga
live
nakita
shows
ka ba?
before the game?
May mga nakita ka ba bang flaws o mga kakulangan ba, boss?
Wala na. I think they're really ready now to and I'm sure kahit sinong who's lucky enough to be able to watch the games live sa MOA, I think they won't be just watching a game. I think they'll be watching an experience. Kasi,
wow.
So,
Team USA, dyan
Boss, ako, boss, looking at the pictures, basing on the pictures na nakita ko dun sa laro ninyo kahapon, di ba? Kasi test run yan di ba? Isa lang yung nakita kong problema pa, boss Alam mo ko ano? Ang lalaki ng tiyan ng mga kasama mo. Pagka nasanay ka doon sa mga fit and slim na mga players. Ang lalaki, tas kinunang pa kayo ng side view ni Jerome Yun ang masakit Parang sila yung mga iba Hindi na offense pinapatawa ko lang mo kayo. Kasi kung sinama niyo si Sport Hank, meron ho sanang sexy dyan.
Si Joseph.
wala si Sport Hank, no?
Speaking of Joseph Ramos, boss, ba't ayaw mong kunin sa spin si Joseph? Diba?
Buti na lang, di kasama.
Hindi, pan natin yung boss, Regular viewer natin si Joseph,
Yeah, at least si Joseph, very aggressive yan as a reporter. I've seen him live in action during the Pacquiao fight against Ugas.
Tsaka in action siya ngayon sa Team Pacquiao. Ang tawag sa kanya, Ugas din. Boss Dodo, isa na lang. The reason why nakapunta tayo dyan, nag-derail ng konti yung usapan natin, nais ko itanong sa'yo, tingin mo ba, it was a wise decision on the part of the coaching staff no? Na alisin mo yung Bobby Ray Parks, who incidentally is also a dead shooter, no? Pagka nag-wax hat. Yun nga lang, tama yung sinabi ni Homer doon sa kanyang column, kailangan niya ng maraming bola bago mag-init. Medyo may
Yes,
decent
yes.
ito eh. Di ba? Pero ikaw, on your part, tama ba yung naging decision na to? Especially
Ay-
that, fans are discussing na ba't napasok si Pugoy, ba't napasok si Kiefer Ravena.
I agree with I agree with Homer na he needs his minutes to be able to shine and he needs his touches. And in the position na bibigay sa kanya, which is either 8, 9, or 10, na sige ko, at the most, kundi siya mag-iinit doon sa 5-10 minutes na yun, wala, he'll never get back into the game. Di ba? I don't think he will fit. I don't think Ray Parks will fit in that role. So, I think it's Parks was needed there only because we needed shooters and we needed, alam mo yung Ray Parks is 6'3", 6'4", mahaba yung kamay, and I'm sure even on defense he'll be able to make himself a factor there. Pero yun nga, in the end, I think he made himself dispensable with some of the decisions.
Pero ano yung mga boss, kasi during the last Spin POV, last week, not the last time out, isa si Parks sa mga napili mo. Pero bakit it looks like you're already conceding yung pagkawala ni Bobby Ray Parks? To think, na he was part of your cards, di ba? Nung nakaraang linggo. Bakit
I think naging dispensable siya in the end. But, yun nga, baka may halo rin politika. Hindi natin alam. Sabi nga ni Homer, baka after the World Cup, pag-usapan ulit natin and we'll know more, di ba? We'll know more. As it is, may mga nakausap na rin ako and I hear some things. Pero yun nga lang, maybe after the World Cup. Pero yun nga, I still stick to my guns and I think Ray Park should be there. More than Kiefer.
Na-mute yata si Snow.
Na-mute ka, Snow.
Na-mute ka. Na-mute.
Nag-patch kasi mixer nung mag-start na kami ng live taping. At least defensively sana, malaking bagay si Bobby Ray Parks, di ba? Pero ang tanong dito, Homer, no, base sa pagkakakilala mo kay Parks at base sa pakikipag-usap mo sa mga insider sa PBA, sino yung mga insider mo? Sila Butch ba yan? Boss Homer? Sila Butch ba yan?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I swore to these people, and they're very less accessible, sometimes rarely accessible. I promise not to get my sources. Alam mo naman. I know you're joking.
Tenets nating mga media men yan di ba? Ako nga pre, may isa pang mayamang team owner, pre. Kinakausap ako Short of saying na bigyan kita ng ganito, i-reveal mo sa akin yung mga source mo, hindi nila napitpit yung itlog ko. Pero ito na, Homer. Nakakausap mo kasi yung mga tagaloob ng Gilas, di ba?
Yeah.
And then nakakausap mo rin si Bobby Ray Parks at some point. Do you think yung role na ibibigay sana sa kanya, no? Hindi ito yung superstar gaya nung nagagawa niya sa Japan at saka sa Token Text dati in a short span of time sa Blackwater.
Yes.
Tingin mo, gagampanan niya yung role na yung kung pinapasok siya sa Gilas o magiging problema to? To think na, alam mo naman to, di ba? Pag tinuyo, aalis, di ba, magtatampo. Di ba, Boss Homer?
I was unsure until I spoke to Dwight Ramos. Kasi Dwight mismo told me, and I wrote about it, lalabas bukas sa Spin, I'll submit it, Boss Dodo. Sabi ni Dwight, even he anticipates ang role niya would be diminished, and he anticipates Jordan Clarkson would be at the forefront of that offense.
So you're talking about Parks? You're talking about Parks there?
No, I'm talking about Dwight. Nang sinabi ni Dwight, when Dwight told me na mag-expect siya na minimal lang ang role niya insofar as being the backup of Jordan, how much more pa for Parks, who would be the 8th, 9th, or 10th guy? So the field goals and the minutes that Parks requires to shine, hindi niya makukuha noon. I think to agree with Boss Dodo is then he had become dispensable na. Kasi marami
base sa attitude ni Parks, yung mga viewers, tingin nyo papayag si Parks? Bobby, depensa ka lang, huwag kang titira. Di ba? Lalaro tayo dito sa sistema natin. Kayo mga viewers, tanungin ko kayo. O yung mga nanonood doon na mag-1,000 na sa Facebook, no, yung ilang libo na ba yung mga nasa YouTube tsaka sa TikTok, no? Tanungin ko kayo, willing ho kaya si Bobby Ray Parks na gampanan yung role na yan? Di ba?
To answer that question, which I found striking when one of the SBP guys told me in defense of the choice of Abando, they made it sure that I relayed the message to the public na Abando is a quiet, humble guy who would not complain if his minutes are scant.
Correct.
So
Correct.
para bang it's an anti-Parks narrative, di ba? Because Parks why would they insist na can you relay na that the coaching staff wanted Abando because he's quite humble at saka hindi magrereklamo, he would not implode kung walang playing minutes.
Pero
Kasi
may mga comments si na R. George, no? Sabi nila hindi daw kasi pabebe daw talaga si Bobby Ray Parks. Pero sabi naman ni Flip Bola 7, ginampanan niya yan sa last 2 windows ng FIBA. Which is parang totoo. Oo nga, no? Tsaka noong 2016 Olympic qualifiers.
Yes.
Ginampanan niya before. Pero hindi kaya merong spot between Bobby Ray and Chot Reyes? Kasi remember, Bobby Ray, di ba? Jump ship, no?
Yes.
Campaign ni Chot Reyes sa talk and text, di ba? Hindi kaya may ganon? Boss Homer? Tingin mo?
Yes, and you have to, if you are here to connect the dots, the dot would go to Mark Dickel, dating coach ng TNT. He's close with Parks and also close to another TNT player na may contentious relationship ng TNT dati, Mikey Williams. So that is the common thread here, the common denominator.
Hindi, ang tanong doon, gaganyanin pala yung player, ba't sinama mo pa?
Yun na nga, that's the thing. And here's what I asked them too. Like I said, hey, sinabi ng kampo ni Parks na he anticipates because of the bad blood na parang hindi siya feeling loved ni Coach Shot. Why come in the first place?
Correct.
But here's the answer. The Japan B League is starting their practice sessions now. Nagpapatayan na doon sa practice dahil magsisimula ng season nila after the World Cup, right? But with Ray Parks being excused from those practice sections, he doesn't really mind being home as well. Kasi instead of going, in fact, Terdy Ravena is on his way to Japan na because tinatawag na siya ng Yeah, I spoke to Mossy Ravena last night and I asked, hey Mossy, when does Sturdy come back to Japan? And Mossy told me that his contract specifically states that if he is not taken in the final 12, he has to go back to Japan. So yun ang stipulation sa contract ni Sturdy.
Ito po mga kaibigan, hinihimay ho natin. We're trying to investigate. We're trying to find out kung ano po yung mga nangyayari sa pagitan po ng pagdesisyon dun sa final 12 natin. 'Di ba? Bago ho ito ilabas kung ano po yung mga naging problema at bakit yan po nagtapos sa 12 na yan at bakit nawala si ganito, si ganon. No? So, yung iba ho mga nagko-comment dito na kesyo 80% chismis na raw tayo, 20% sports, no? Katulad itong sisi, no? Ito lang ho 'yan, no? Kahit naman anong gawin natin, kahit naman nandoon tayo sa current affairs na topic, pag pinag-usapan natin kunyari sina BBM tsaka itong kung sino-sino mga politiko, 'di ba? Chismis din ang tawag doon. Depende kasi sa pananaw niyo 'yan eh. Kung tanga ka, no, yung mga analysis na ginagawa namin, chismis sa'yo 'yon kasi bobo ka. 'Di ba? Pero kung titimbangin mo mabuti, kasi ito si Homer kausap niya yung mga taga-SBP, kausap niya yung mga taga-Gilas eh. Kung hindi ka ba naman tarantado, siya nga unang naglabas ng 12-man lineup eh. Tingin mo hinulaan niya yon? Tapos sasabihin mo, chismis kami, tarantado ka. Ganito na lang ang gawin mo. Ilipat mo yung YouTube mo, o yung Facebook mo, doon ka manood sa Play It Right. Okay? Kung gusto mo ng safe, Play It Right ka. Bibigyan na kita ng tip. Okay? Okay, doon tayo sa safe. Ha? Okay, sponsored by Smart. Alright? Ano tayo dito? Ha? Basa na tayo mga messages sa atin. Okay. Ito naman ang issue natin kay Bobby Ray Parks. Oo, hindi ka na line up. Diba? Naamoy mo na hindi ka ila-line up. Pero kung talagang professional ka, sana silently nag-walk away ka sa Gilas. Hindi yung anak ng puta nag-post ka pa ng picture mo sa Bali parang ipinakikita mo, nye. Di ba? Anong kaululan yan? Di ba? Sunog na yung
Yes.
tunog mo sa Philippine basketball, lalo mo pa sinunog eh. Di ba? Napaka-immature mo eh. Yun naman boss yung pinampuputok ng butchi ko kay Bob. Eto, nagpapaka-positive po tayo ah. Pero may mga lumalabas, gusto natin maging positive, tapos may mga ganito. Di ba? Isipin mo ninyo, nawala ka sa Gilas, hinahanap ka namin 3 games, tumahimik ka nga po yung SBP tsaka yung Gilas. Di ba? Hindi nga sila kumikibo sa iyo eh. Tapos bigla ka nagpo-post ng
Not a
pictures.
word, yes.
Diba? Diba? Paano kami hindi mabubuisit sa'yo? Diba? Ngayon, kung i-consider ka ulit sa Gilas, tingin mo, mangyayari pa yon? Diba, Boss Dodo? Parang ako yan eh.
Oo.
Ilang beses na ako lumayas sa spin, pero wala ho ako sinabing masama. Diba? At next week, alalayas na naman ho ako sa spin. Wala ho akong sasabihin masama. Joke lang. Okay, hindi ho ako nagagalit. Ha? Nagpapaka-ano lang ho tayo. Kasi pinikon tayo ni Siki, ululim po. Sinasabi tayong ano eh, no? Sinasabi tayo na chismoso eh. Kung chismoso kami, mas chismoso ka kasi kanina ka pa nakikinig. Di ba? Okay, mas po tayo. Safe of Tana na lang over Pugoy. If gusto nila, TNT representative kasi Histoler. Okay, so isa-isayin na muna natin itong lineup. Okay, let's talk about yung mga nawala. So tapos na tayo kay Bobby Ray Parks, no? So tinuldukan na ho natin yan. Di ba? Ang tanong ko ngayon is itong pagkawala ni Calvin of Tana. What do you think of this one, Boss Don?
Sino?
Si
Calvin.
Calvin.
Calvin of Tana, no? I think, alam mo ano dyan, if I were Coach Chot, Calvin of Tana is the easiest guy to cut.
Yes.
Bata, di ba? Walang
Babae.
experience, di ba? And ang pinaka ano diyan is dispensable siya doon sa doon sa rotation, di ba? Because doon sa pwesto niya, which is number 2, doon yung pinaka doon yung pinaka crowded. I agree. Si Calvin in what? Maybe 1-2 years, I think he'll be one of the best players in the
Yes.
PBA.
Correct.
Lalo na TNT siya, di ba? And TNT, and remember sa TNT, in 1-2 years, sa kanilang dalawa na ni Mikey yung TNT because Jason is 36, 37, and Kelly is past 40, di ba? So,
Yeah.
mabibigay na kay Calvin of Tana yan, saka kay Mikey, di ba? So, I think, dahil dyan, because ang dali sabihin kay Calvin, you deserve to start in the team, but you'll get your chances in the next Asian Games yan, o World Cup yan. I think you can even target the next World Cup. So, pag ganyan lang mentality mo, I think you're one of the ripest cut pagdating sa
Boss, eto lang sabi ni Relly, naiinggit daw ako kay Bobby Ray Parks kasi wala akong love life. Isa pa palang ulol to, boss eh. Nakita mo yung buhok ko, gulo-gulo? Nakikita mo yung bibig ko, may mga manti-mantika pa. Sabunot lang sa akin eh. Anak ng puta. Ba't sasabihin wala love life? Kita nyo, hindi na nga ako magkanda ugaga rito. Okay, basa pa tayo naman. Pero ito, about Calvin of Tana naman, boss, ako may take. Ford, ikat mo lahat ng mga statement namin over dito sa mga on these players na nawala sa pula. Ako naman, boss, si Calvin of Tana. Ang take ko dito, dapat binigyan to ng chance eh. Kasi ako nasa listahan ko siya. Alam mo kung bakit, boss Dodo? Kasi kung si Calvin of Tana, aasahan natin sa mga future Gilas campaigns, dapat isinama na natin ngayon sa World Cup. Kahit papaano, natanggal na natin yung jitters niya, naalis natin yung kaba ng dibdib niya kasi naglaro siya sa pinakamataas na level ng basketball. Di ba? Kasi ito si Calvin of Tana po, di ba? May shooting naman din. Although sinasabi ng iba, mabagal. Di ba? But he has to develop himself. Kasi kaya nga baka mabagal. But sa PBA naman nag-e-excel. Di ba? Kasi baka kaya mabagal, dinadaga yung dibdib, kulang sa balot yung tuhod, pagka doon sa mga kalaban ng mga mas mabibigat. So mas maganda sana na ipinasok na natin siya. Kasi ito lang naman yung boss Dodo 12-man lineup. Tama? Pero ang gagamitin lang ni Chot dyan, 8. Di ba? Ano naman ang isa sa 4 na nakaupo? Di ba? Kesa sa nagsama ka nung 4 na ilang beses mo nang ginamit, pero kayo na ang bahalang magdugtong. Okay? Okay. Boss Dodo, sino pa yung mga nawala sa pulso? We already talk about Parks.
Newsome.
Chris Newsome. Ito kasama ko din to sa list ko of Tana and Newsome. Pareho silang nawala. Tapos yung incidentally, boss, yung in-intro ni Ford, yung ginawa niyang teaser doon sa video ko last week, yun yung dalawa pumasok. Okay. Di ba? Okay, so what about Chris Newsome? Boss Homer, what do you think of this?
Well, according to nakausap ko yung kampo niya, and he is reportedly heartbroken. And you know, I would feel the same way kung ako si Newsome, di ba? You played so well at the Southeast Asian Games. You've been at this practice since day one when they assembled this pool. He had never missed practice, made himself available in the friendlies. But yun na nga, he's a professional. That's what distinguishes himself between Ray Parks. Whereas Ray Parks had pouted na hindi ako tatanggapin, alis lang ako. New had stayed. And if allowed pa sana yung reserve, he would also have stayed and checked in at the BGC Hyatt and stayed with the team. Diba? So, yun lang. But, you know, could we have used him? Maybe, but you know, like I said, itong choice kasi ito very subjective, and the idea is here. Scottie Thompson yung point guard, diba? And then Jordan also can handle the some of the ball handling, and Dwight Ramos, and then Kiefer, kung nandiyan na si Kiefer. So basically, there was no room for Newsome. Although many people loved him, na you know, he's a big guard and he can be a stopper, as seen in many playoffs niya sa Meralco, but the end of the day, yun na nga, it's Kiefer was ultimately chosen above him. So yun ang kay Newsome. And I believe for
dadagdag lang ako dun sa sinabi ni Homer, because last, I think it was Tuesday, no, Homer? We had a back and forth with Homer kasi yun nga, binubuo na namin yung Final 12. And ironically, Snow, ang una namin na-confirm ni Homer during the back and forth was Newsome was out. Newsome was out already. So, launa pa namin na-confirm na out si Newsome more than Oftana.
Yes.
Kaya nabuo yung Final 12 ni Homer on the eve of the announcement kasi hindi na pinasipot si Oftana sa practice nung open practice, diba? So that was when na-confirm na yung Final 12. Kasi even before Oftana was a no-show sa practice, we already knew Chris Newsome was out. Right, Homer?
Yes, correct. Correct yan. We already got word from his camp na hindi siya.
Pero kung Boss Homer, Boss Dodo, titanong ko sa mga viewers, what do you think of Chris Newsome? Dapat ba itong na-include? Kung dapat pa include, pwede ho bang i-comment niyo, babasahin natin. Sabi nga ni Marvin Bogay, malamang yung pwesto ni Newsome nakuha ni Kiefer. Pero sa tingin ni Marvin, Kiefer is a leader and mautak sa laro. Veterano na ho yan Yun ang maganda ho sa isang Kiefer kasi, kasi 12 years old siya, kung di ako nagkakamali, sa Nokia pa nun, boss Tapos naging energy pa yan di ba? Nung kino-cover na namin yan nung araw. Yung mga haters ko, di nyo alam yan So,
and also, yung Kiefer, it's a fallacy. One of the arguments against Kiefer, sabi ng mga fans, is, paborito daw ni Coach Chot, but that's a fallacy because even since the time of Altamirano, Tim Cone, Coach Norman, Dickel, all those
World Cup, diba?
Yeah, all those coaches picked Kiefer and wanted him to be in the lineup because he's a very cerebral player. He's a very good player, and kahit na when you dissect his game, obviously, if you see all the kung highlights lang hinahanap, you'll never find the true value of Kiefer Ravena. But if you put him in a situation where game on the line, you need a play, and he will deliver, and clutch din sa free throw shooting. So yun na nga. But may mga biases nga, and then if you're biased against, may built-in or inherent bias ka na sa isang player, it doesn't matter na because you will always dig on the bad side of his game. So yun, Newsome sayang nga, but I'd pick Kiefer over Newsome.
Sa turnover, sino yung mas prone sa dalawa? Kasi alam ko yung question ni Newsome, pinaglabanan nila ni Kiefer Sino sa tingin mo yung mas turnover prone?
Well, I think it's Kiefer na turnover prone. Only because he's handling the ball more. Kasi wings naman si Chris So turnover is a given. Kiefer turns the ball
kasi boss, si Newsome more on hustle to and defensive purposes.
Yes.
Napansin ko lang boss, tinanggal mo si Bobby Ray, nabawasan ka ng defender, tinanggal mo rin itong si Newsam, nabawasan ka na naman ng defender. So that leaves us with whom? Sino yung mga magiging defenders natin ba sa backcourt at saka doon sa wing?
Yan ang magandang question kasi sabi nga ni yung may sinulat actually si Homer, sabi ni Homer, defensive liability
Abando.
si Renz Abando, and some people think si Renz Abando mo sasabihin defensive liability si Abando, kung makapalpal yan, ganun, di ba? Lalo na yung mga trail block niya, Homer, di ba?
Yes.
But you don't know yung mga demands, yung mga defensive demands ng mga coaches. Kasi, di ba, ang tinitingnan nilang defense, more than yung health defense, is yung on-ball defense, di ba, Homer? And
Yes.
I think that's what some fans ignore pagdating kay Abando.
Yun ang sabi nila, it's Abando is kind of like at this stage, at least in his career, na bata pa siya, he's more like a poor man's Kobe Paras. Yun ang isa sa mga naririnig ko. Lot of highlights, good highlights, offensive player, but where is he in defense? Where is he in ball distribution? All those aspects. I'm a big fan of Abando. I remember waking up in the middle of the night, early morning, to watch him play against Ateneo with 30. And and Abando and Brent, that was a great backcourt. I'm a fan. Pero yun na nga, defense. If you look at the players from Japan, what are the key elements that make them stay there? The guys that play defense are still there. Kiefer, 30, Ray, diba? Whereas yung mga nawala na sa Japan B-League, those are the guys who tend to not play defense. Kasi importante sa Japan B-League defense.
But ang difference naman doon, Homer, between Kobe and say Renz Abando.
Yes.
Renz Abando is a very good student. I think he keeps improving his game over the last few years. You've seen him how he has improved. Kaya in fact, Kobe naman medyo nag-retrogress, but I think that's a difference.
Pero ako dito, boss, ang bottom line ko dito is,
I agree.
di ba, pinakawalan natin si Newsam, nawalan tayo ng depensa sa backcourt, di ba? But we have a backup point guard, no, just in case something happens dun sa kamay nitong si Scottie Thompson in the person of Kiefer, di ba?
Yes.
Pinakawalan natin si Oftana, who has the height, who has the shooting, over because we let in Pugoy na shooter kaya lang nagkakaproblema pag naharap po sa mga mas malalaking kalaban, di ba? So yun yung natin, yung expect natin. But eto lang, boss, who's the better shooter between Oftana and Pugoy? Boss Dodo.
Ay, naku po. Kung based on success rate sa mga games, of course, Pugoy. Pugoy tested na yan. Tested na si Pugoy. From TNT to Gilas, tested na yan.
He had a finals game when he had 10 threes.
Yeah,
so I think that was his validation.
It remains to be seen kung mas gagaling si Oftana kaysa kay Pugoy. But at this point in their respective careers, mas magaling na shooters.
Homer, isang tanong na lang. Since bago natin pakawalan itong topic na to on Kiefer, Ravena, Pugoy, and Newsam, tsaka itong si Oftana, nakausap mo ba si Kiefer? Nakausap mo siya yata ng isang araw, di ba? Did you even talk about him, yung tungkol dun sa matagal na paghawak niya ng bola, ng pag-dribble, to the point na tinatamad na siguro nakakapag-orchestrate na ng defensive scheme yung mga kalaban. May binanggit pa siya about sa dribbling na yan at babaguhin niya?
No, we didn't touch on those. Nag-usap kami actually this morning after my column came out, and so yun ang sabi ko sa kanya, daming haters, sabi niya. But sanay na daw siya, and it is what it is. He's taking it with a grain of salt, and that's why he ignores social media. Kasi nga wala kang sometimes it's a poison well. But next time we speak, he's always been generous with his time to me. So tanungin ko nga. He also talks to you, di ba?
Homer, ako ang Vice Editor-in-Chief ng Spin. Tawagan mo si Kiefer as soon as matapos tong program natin, okay?
Yes.
Basta to, magtinigil mo yung tawa mo. Okay, basa muna tayo ng mga messages. Sabi ni Renz Marion Delim, we need size sana. Popostean lang si Kiefer ng malaking guard ng Europe, just like yung 2019 World Cup. May Scottie, JC Dwight at CJ na. No need for Kiefer na talaga lumilit lang ang backcourt. Okay, wag na muna natin pag-usapan si Kiefer, no? So, lipat muna
Yes.
tayo sa ibang topic.
That ship has sailed.
Boss Homer, who will guard Karl Anthony Towns tomorrow? And who can
Yes.
guard that?
I was dissecting this and what are our chances against the Dominican Republic. Mahirap. But there are two avenues. Number one, Karl Anthony Towns missed 53 games in this just finished NBA regular season. He has had an assortment of foot injuries, knee injuries. So we might not get the best version of him. We might not see the polished NBA All-Star Rookie of the Year, number 1 draft pick of 2015. So that's a chance for us. Number two, kararating lang nila 3 days ago, di ba? Maybe they're not, adjusting pa sa jet lag. So those are two things, but it's a good question. Who guards Anthony Town? Sadly, no one, because he is a 36% shooter from 3-point range. So that means he will drag anybody who will guard him, and that would allow Delgado and the other guys to come in and penetrate. So yun lang. But I suppose, to borrow the words of Coach Tab Baldwin, guard him by committee. Give him different looks. So throw Japet Aguilar on him, throw Kai Soto on him, throw Junmar Fajardo, and Kai would bother him with his length. Japet will give him problems with his physicality. So mahirap na assignment yon kasi established NBA style.
Ako, Homer, ko ako tatanungin.
Yes.
Ako, ito magiging tactic ni Chot Reyes. He's been doing that in the PBA. He will just let Karl Anthony Towns score and score, attack and attack until he tire himself. Di ba? That's the best thing you can do, di ba? Kasi you cannot stop him eh. Di ba? If you put Jordan Clarkson sa harapan nito, masasacrifice naman yung opensa natin.
Yeah.
Diba? So, pagurin mo na lang. Boss Dodo, ito, magandang tanong. 10.5 daw yung odds ng Dominican Republic. Kung pupusta ako, plus 10.5, mananalo kaya ako? Boss, bukas?
I'm not a gambling man, pero kung bibigyan akong plus din doon, pupusta ako.
Sabi ni Dwight sa akin, Dwight Ramos said to me na their practices have been really good and focusing on minimizing turnovers. So, the problem with Dominican Republic, I imagine, would be the rebounding because of their length. Now, if you can somehow breach the gap a little bit, tapos wala kang turnovers, we have a really good chance against Dominican. Yun na nga, it's the outlier is Karl Anthony Towns. And they also 7-4.
Kaya nga. Anyway, so ito, Boss Dodo, ito may text dito si Dr. Kawai. Sabi niya, Kiefer is old slow motion version of Scotty. Both have super IQ though. Diba? Mamaya na natin pag-usapan si Kiefer. Lipat muna tayo sa ibang mga nasa pool. So, yung mga usual suspects natin nakasama talaga sa pool, Clarkson, Japet, di ba? And then, ayan, pakita mo nga, ayan, si Kai Soto, Junior Fajardo, maganda pinakita, Malonzo, no, very promising sa atin to, and then Scotty Thompson, tapos yun nga si Dwight Ramos. Okay na yan, given na yan eh. But what about Kai Soto? What can we expect from Kai Soto here? Kasi matindi yung ano sa kanya eh, di ba? Expectation. Pero di ba, the last few games, medyo hindi natin naramdaman. It was more of a disappointment, di ba?
I leave the floor to Homer. Maraming alam na Kai Soto yan. No?
When I asked Kai Soto's camp na lalaro bats, kasi yung kampo ni Kai Soto, there's one that the EWP handles his managerial, di ba? Yung smart, yung engagement niya sa FIBA, sa Gilas. And then the other is Wasserman Sports, which is tasked mainly to make him go to the NBA. So tinanong ko yung Wasserman Sports. I mean, it's up to kasi at that time where nag-riff pa whether may drama pa yung EWP and SBP, tinanong ko Wasserman Sports. I mean, what do you think? Should Kai play in the World Cup? He said, if it were up to us 100%, he should play. This is the best stage for him to show his worth and, improve his credentials so that he can go to the NBA. Kasi nandun na lahat. Like, Team USA is there, mga scouts, lahat will be there. This is the biggest professional basketball audition, itong World Cup. In fact, ang isang dating coach mismo ng Gilas Pilipinas told me na, Kai should be the one who should pay Gilas to be able to be in that roster because he needs it more than Gilas needs him. So,
Boss Homer,
yes.
Homer, Boss Dodo, magpapaalam na ako kasi meron lang akong kailangang puntahan. Mamimiss ko po kayo lahat, mga kaibigan. Abangan niyo po ako sa Eternity of Basketball. Lilipat po ako in a few minutes. Okay, Boss Dodo, sorry talaga. Kailangan ko
Okay lang.
sa trabaho. Nakakaya kay Master Long eh. Alright, maraming salamat, Boss Homer, Boss Dodo. No, kayo po muna bahala. Boss, salsalin mo lang ng salsalin si Homer. Maraming isusuka yan. Okay, boss. I love you, boss. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Snow. Homer, I think
Yes.
it's down to you and I.
It's okay. I'm
Ang,
game.
ang gusto kong tanong, more than anything else to you, is how do you see this final 12?
The final 12 is actually good. I agree with Coach Raiko, na it has all the ingredients, size, speed, a star, because you really need a star, and that's Jordan Clarkson that could give you 25 to 30 points when you face against teams like we focus so much on Dominican Republic, and deservedly so, because nandun si Towns. Pero Angola, I researched them today, and they're not bad, boss. They're a very good team. This is a team that had played together during the African qualifier. So meron na silang built-in chemistry. And then they have also an NBA player who plays for the Atlanta Hawks. I look at the name, Bruno Fernando.
Fernando, right?
Yeah, 6'9", 245 is also very good. Tapos yung guard nila, maliit, is only 5'7", si Doando, but he's one of the best point guards in Angolan League. So, concentrating too much on Dominican Republic might be one of those things they say na you look at the forest, you lose sight of the trees. Diba? So, mahirap. This is a really tough bracket for us kasi after Dominican Republic, Angola, and then Italy. As you know, Italy, nandun din yung Utah Jazz player na teammate ni Jordan Clarkson, si Ficasio. I'm sorry. So mahirap. So it's a very tough bracket for us. Pero I have faith because you have size, bigs talaga, Edu, Fajardo, and Kai obviously, and then Thompson. I think Thompson also is very important. And para sa akin, ang wild card would be Jamie Malonzo. I think this is a tournament for him to shine. I was really impressed sa performance niya, boss, finals against Bay Area Dragons and the finals against TNT, although they lost. And he had really matured. His game has matured. And, obviously, mga scouting reports ng other teams playing against us would concentrate on Jordan, diba? Jordan, maybe Dwight and Kai. And it could be a moment for Jamie Malonzo to get in. So, in the end, to recap, I like the lineup. Yes, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Should we put Newsome? Should we put Oftana or Abando out for Parks? Maybe. Pero yun ang sinabi sa column ko today. At the end of the day, we were not there. None of us were there. Sila nakikita, sina Coach Jong, sina Tim Cone, and I trust their brain power. I trust their experience. And I know silang they're the one who's designing the plays. So when you design your sets defensively and offensively, you have to put a body or a player to that. Sino ba? Who's the guy that could best do this? If we do a pick and roll, if we do a three-man weave, who do we, sabi ni Coach, hindi na ginagamit yung three-man weave. But if you do if we do this pick and roll, if we go high-low, which would be more compatible? Would it be Kiefer or is it Newsome? So sila ang nagdetermine. Those are the things, the mechanics, the nuts and bolts na hindi natin alam. That's why to me, I leave it to the professionals. So, kayo ang mas nakakaalam. That's why you're there. Yung tingnan mo, can you imagine si Coach Tim Cone? I read the story of Jerry na, he even went to Andalusian in region of Spain. Yeah, and Granada. And that just shows you the lengths that the coaching staff would take na para to make sure preparado tayo. And, and they know more than us, obviously, kung sinong healthy, sinong, who's gelling better with who, So, yun ang ko. So, that's why
sabi nga ng mga fans natin, Homer, in Coach Tim we trust, di ba?
Correct.
Medyo, ang ano yan ngayon is if you really look at the final pieces na nilagay doon sa final 12, medyo titignan mo nga, tama si Snow kanina eh. Parang kulang ng defender sa wings, di ba? Lalo na, papatayin tayo dyan, yung mga 2, 3 guys, yung mga 2 guards, mga shooting forward ng kalaban, mga papatayin tayo dyan. But,
Yes.
let's leave it to Coach Tim. I'm sure Coach Tim was part of that decision-making process, di ba?
100%.
He was in Granada to scout the Dominican Republic, and so I'm sure they have an answer for that, right, Homer?
Yes, I'm sure. Kasi sa napag-alaman ko, it's Coach Tim Cone who's more like the brain behind the defense. Siya yung
The same way that Coach Norman was handling the defense in the previous iteration of Gilas ng mga 2013, 2014.
Yes, and knowing how Ginebra defends, and given the pieces he has, he has obviously a souped up piece. Ginebra is very good, but this one's an all-star selection. So,
Yes.
it's so I trust Tim Cone. So, I feel good. Kaya lang, yun na nga. What the variable is the quality of the opposition. Yun lang din ang mahirap. Di ba?
And before we proceed, Homer, I'd like to leave the floor to Coach Chot Reyes. Kasi kanina pa natin pinag-uusapan yung mga final decisions ng Gilas coaching staff, and they're second guessing kung bakit ganito. And he held this introductory first press conference kanina, and our men, kaya nga excuse sila kanina, Ruben Gerardo was there, Jerry was there, and our video head of videos, si Jam Mariano was there, and he filed this video on
Okay.
So Ford, let's run the video ni Ford para malaman natin yung ni Ito yung sabi ni when he tried to discuss yung final 12 ni
Yeah.
Yeah, like I told them, it's not because of anything they did wrong or deficiency on their part. It's just that we have to make a choice. In the end, we have 16 guys, and we can only choose 12. And then for me, that is really a coach's most difficult job. Sana kung if they were doing something bad or wrong, or they were just really bad for the team, but hindi, sabi nga, but they are all doing everything that we ask. But we just have to make a decision. So yun ho yung explanation ni Chot just now, this introductory press conference ng Gilas on the final 12. So parang more or less Homer eliminate na niya yung diba? Intriga na Bobby Ray was cut because he did this, and someone else was cut because he did that. Diba, Homer?
Yes, and deservedly so, because that's what you want, good vibes, di ba? You're 24 hours away from arguably the biggest game of the program because an Olympic slot is at stake. And all you want is good vibes, walang negative vibes, and then walang, tampuhan and all that stuff. And, that is also why I think when the cuts were made, there were assurances also granted na, itong nakat nga sila, but they will be in the Asian, So it, everybody happy. It's a win-win situation. Yun na nga, kung ikaw yung player, sino ba naman ang hindi gusto to be put in a situation, boss, na you play in front of 50,000 people, playing in front in your home country with your flag, and the fans would be crazy. Who doesn't want that? So, silang lahat gusto. Ayaw nilang makat, but yun ang sinabi niya, kung baga sa we have the right love at the wrong time, di ba? So you have to choose only, and then there are certain specific set of skills na hinahanap nila for this engagement that maybe some of those players did not possess, or maybe they just di nagpakitang did not perform according to the expectation ng team. So, but yun na nga, that's why you choose among a pool. That's why na mag-train kayo, because there's a selection process, tinatawag na selection process. So, ako nga, believe ako kay Newsome for really showing, na kahit nakat na siya all day, just took it like a pro. I'm not
Yeah.
saying na yung iba hindi nag-take a pro, but excuse sila and it's understandable na hindi na sila magpakita dahil na-cut na. But Newsome went above and beyond.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Homer, let's hear it from Sotres himself.
Yes.
Ito naman po ang ang sinasabi naman, ang dinidiscuss naman dito. Ang ano naman dito si Steve Kerr naman pala, si Steve Kerr. Right, Ford? So, meron ding introductory press conference kanina yung Team USA. So, let's roll it. Let's roll it, Ford.
So Mark and Spo and Ty each have one of these coming games. So each one is preparing for their own personal scout so that they're ready to present the scout. But as far as the team is concerned, we're only focused on New Zealand right now.
Yun pala. What do you think of Team USA, Homer?
They're good.
Let's
They're
remember Team USA, this is not the all-star team that Coach K had in the past. Diba? I don't think these are really the players that Steve Kerr had in mind when he was first offered the US Team USA coaching job. Diba? But I think they're doing well in the pre-World Cup build-up. Anong tingin mo dito?
They're good. There's a reason why they're the number one and heavy favorites. I know you're not a betting man, but I also look at the odds kasi it would tell you how many points because the experts know better because they do this for a living. So they're prohibitive favorites, and there's a reason for that. They're laden with all-stars. You have Jalen Brunson, Michael Bridges, Halliburton. It's a very good team, and they also have. Kasi the problem before with the US Dream Team, I'm not saying a problem, but offense lahat dito you have guys that actually play defense then it's a double-edged sword. So I think they will win the gold. It's not hindi naman surprise yan but I think they will win the gold medal. A very well constituted team. Tsaka yun na, Slovenia has a good chance. I saw the article that na pinalabas ng Spin because on the strength of Luka Doncic obviously, pero tingnan mo this is how tough the teams are in the World Cup. Slovenia may all-NBA player ka, you have Luka Doncic, pero minus 3,000 sila, boss. If you bet $100 on Luka Doncic's team, nananalo ka ng $3,000. Whereas kung sa US team ka, you have to bet $130 to win 100. So, ganon. But to answer your questions, very good team. And ang coaching staff nila, boss, ang bigat. Spo, and then you have Steve Kerr, as you see. So, and then
Homer, don't forget,
Yes, and then scouting nila, they're way ahead of everybody else, including us, and that's just a fact. Hindi naman napuput down natin yung scouting natin, but the NBA has just simply a wider reach when it comes to scouting nation globally. So yun. Tapos big game experience din ng NBA players. I know the challenge for them is to adjust to the FIBA rules, but basketball is basketball at the end of the day. It's ang difference lang is it's 4 feet shorter kasi it's 90 feet instead of 94 in the NBA, but it's still 10. The dimensions are the same. The 3-point shooting is the same. Oh no, it's 22 feet. NBA is 23.8. So yun lang. But other than that, that's why they do film. So how the referees call the game, walang flopping, walang lahat. But and these are pros. And I presume after one game against the New Zealand, makukuha na nila yung they will get the hang of the rules and how FIBA is officiated.
Oo nga. Ako, ang pinakagusto ko sa Team USA right now is Jalen Brunson. Unlike before na lalo na yung mga redeem team na in the past Olympics, wala silang dominant point guard, and this one I think they have one in Jalen Brunson. I think will be key to how well this team plays together as a team. So I think all eyes will be on Brunson right now.
Yes. Magaling yan, boss. That's why he got the max contract from the New York Knicks. And tsaka may champion pedigree na yan. He lives in Chicago, by the way. He went to high school here. Yung tatay niya used to play for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, and he played for Ginebra too.
Yes, and he was Mr. Basketball Mr. High School Basketball here in Illinois. Tapos pumunta siya ng Villanova. He won 2 championships with Mikal Bridges. Nakasama niya sa team. Sila DiVincenzo, who won a championship with the Milwaukee Bucks. And then also Ryan D'Arcicano. So this kid has the pedigree. He had won in every level, boss. He won in high school. He won in college twice. And then now he's with the Knicks. So, and then he's a pass first point guard. Although he can score 30 if he wants to. Pero mas gusto niya magiging facilitator. And the big thing about Jalen Brunson too is a big guard and he can post up. Although sabi ni Coach Yeng, I was listening to that podcast yesterday. Wala na nga isolation ng international game. It's about ball movement and 3-point shooting. But when needed, kaya pa rin gawin ni Jalen yan. So, Team USA, mahirap talunin.
Hey, let's go back to Gilas, Homer. And, alam mo naman, lahat ng mga magbasa muna tayo ng mga comments for it. Ano ba yung mga comments natin dyan? Let's roll it. Watch sa YouTube, sa TikTok. I think sa TikTok now, we have more than 2,000 live viewers. So, isipin mo to. And most of them are really knowledgeable. Pero lang yung mga pinapagalitan ni Snow. For obvious reasons. Pero, hangang-hanga ako. Napaka-knowledgeable. Itong si Inosuke Ashibira. Sabi niya, the only way Gilas can win in their matches is kung maglalagay sila ng good team defense. Let's accept it. Medyo work in progress yung offense ng Gilas, but if they play good defense and limit one of their main scorers, may chance yung Gilas. What do you think, Homer?
I agree, but you also have to have Jordan Clarkson out there scoring at least 30. Kasi nga I would see Towns. If the strategy of Snow Badua is to be applied, yung anticipation niya na paskorin si Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony might do 40. So no matter how good your defense is, you still have to score on the other side. Yes, so but I agree, yung depensa nga kailangan natin. So that's the key, ang depensa.
Oy, isa pa. One
yes.
Or tatlo pa. Ford, and then we go to the final word, Homer.
Yes.
Amar 35 says, pikunin si Towns para ma-throw na. Pikunin pala.
Yeah. Like goad him para sa like Dennis Rodman used to do for the Bulls. You goad them into a fight, so technical foul sila. No, I don't think that would work because in the NBA they've done that to Karl Anthony Towns and he seems to be impervious to tactics like that. And also naman, Coach Chotres, I think would not resort to such kind of tactics. Lalo na home host tayo. We have to show that hospitality. We have to show good sportsmanship. So, hindi natin pipikunin si Karl Anthony Towns. Maybe trash talk, but hindi yung talagang physical altercation.
And they've learned from the Gilas Australia Brawl, I'm sure.
Yes.
And Marion Jan Marcelo Unabia said, the plan dapat isang kasabay ni JC sa floor is someone to set him up. May shooter dapat ang mga potential na mapapasahan sa loob. Oo nga naman. And, yun nga yung sinasabi namin kanina. I think perimeter shooting would be the most crucial part for Gilas now. Dahil I'm sure all the defenses that Gilas will be facing will be zeroed in on JC for obvious, very, very obvious reasons. Kasi JC is one player that you don't need to set up. He'll make his own shots, di ba, Homer? He's not a guy that needs to run through 3-4 screens to get his shot up, di ba? JC, the kind of player he is, he doesn't need more than one, or he doesn't even need one screen to be open or get his shot up. So, alam mo na yan. So, multiple players yan, multiple defenders on JC. So, we need the other guys clicking if we want to win. If we even need have a shot at winning all these games. Diba, Homer, no?
Yes, there was a statistics nakita ko during the friendlies. I think leading up to the Mexico game, may statistics ako nakita na Gilas was only shooting 6 3 points a game, 3-point shots a
Yes,
game.
yes, yes.
That's
That's
not gonna
worrying,
work. Yeah, that's very worrying. That's not gonna work because if our shots fall from the outside, it would allow the defense to kind of expand, di ba? And give a little more room for Jordan to roam, to penetrate. Kasi pag walang shooting natin, kaya hindi gumagana ng shooting natin, obviously the defense would be sucked in. And then there would be too much of a crowd for Jordan Clarkson to penetrate. So napaka-importante ng 3-point shot. But like you said, I agree. I remember when I called Coach Chot during the, matagal pa to, it's like over a year ago, almost a year ago, tinawagan ko siya, we spoke on the phone, tinanong ko siya, what's the preference? Would you really consider Brownlee? So sabi niya sa akin, and this was like almost a year ago, Boss Dodo. Sabi niya, no, if available si Jordan, we'll go with Jordan because nga he's a proven scorer. So meron ka ng 25 or 30 and then you can just make the others fall into place. So that's exactly what's going on now. In line with anong sinabi ni Dwight sa akin na nag-anticipate ako na it will be Jordan Clarkson, and then kung tatawagin ako, wherever that may be, whenever that may be, ready ako. Pero sabi ni Dwight, Jordan all the way yata ang opensa ng Gilas.
Oh, I think that's one misconception that I think we need to correct, Homer. Kasi may mga fans na who act like parang parang nasa gitna si Coach Chot and the rest of the coaching staff na they're torn between Jordan on one side and Brownlee on the other. I think from the start, sabi mo nga, it's very clear na if Jordan Clarkson is available, it was Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
And I think we'll all understand bakit. Even Brownlee himself understood why yung ganun yung decision ng coaching staff. So, just to correct some kasi parang mabigat pa yung decision ng JC or Brownlee when in fact, di ba?
It was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. Plus also Jordan's 4 years younger also, boss.
Oh.
The grind of the World Cup where you pay 3. If we go to the second round, I was talking to Coach Stab, and Coach Stab told me that, there is a quirk in the schedule. Now, if you go in the second round, there is a possibility you might play 8-9 games in 10 days. Diba? So, mahihirapan yun if you're 34 as opposed to you're 30. I'm not saying Brownlee cannot handle the load. The three-letter word that best describes why Clarkson is a better option than Brownlee is NBA. Yun lang. Yun ang pinaka-simple dyan.
at hindi ko na papagsalitain si Homer, pero I would just like to let you know now, dahil at least dito na tayo, one day before the World Cup, pero muntik na ho kaming magka-headline sa Spin, like a month ago, na JC is out. Kaya that's doon ho naging crucial si Justin Brownlee sa equation pagdating sa Gilas. Kasi there was one point in the build-up to the World Cup when suddenly, because of differences that cropped up in the negotiations, muntik na ho hindi matuloy si Justin Brownlee. I think yung mga natin yun, Homer siguro, maybe some point in the future we can do some the untold stories, di ba?
Yes, parang 30 for 30, di ba? The untold story.
Right now, sabi nga ho ng mga ni Snow kanina and si Homer a while ago, na medyo let's keep it positive. Pero siguro, darating yung araw, Homer, di ba?
Yes, and we can, not only that, we can also talk about Kai, how it almost imploded in. Because of 3 letters also, MRI.
Pero yun ho yung sinasabi namin right now. There was one day in the build up to the World Cup when we were asked to hold our horses. Nakiusap po yung na we hold our horses, na we'll hold our headlines, na JC is out, and
They asked for 24 hours to fix it, di ba, boss? Remember that one?
24 hours to fix it. And kami naman para sa Gilas, why not? Diba? And in the end, since sabi nga, all's well that ends well. And we're glad that JC is here naman. We're glad that JC is here, diba? And I'm sure Homer too is glad that we have someone like Jordan Clarkson repping the Philippine flag in the World Cup. So on that note, kami, magpa-final word na kami, and I'll leave the final word to Homer. So I'll begin from the start. I think I said it already last week. I think I like this team that was formed after all the drama around Kai, drama around JC, drama around the Ravenas, di ba? And yung final selections and the final touch. I think when you look at the 12 that we have now, I think this is a very, very good team. I agree with Coach Raiko na this is the best Gilas team ever assembled. And I don't think when Coach Raiko said that, I don't think he's blowing something up or something, di ba? And kasi napakasimple ho niyan eh. I was in Seville covering the 2014 team. I was in Foshan, China, covering the 2019 team, and you can see the difference. Now we're big enough. The team is big enough to afford not to get an Andre Blatch or any other import na parang lang, di ba? Pantapal lang sa gitna, di ba? We didn't even need Lance Kwame because we had Kai. And we had a very, very, I think it's in top shape right now, na Junmar Farado, that we can afford to get a JC, a Jordan Clarkson na scorer for the team. Pangalawa, marami ho tayong mga bagong pieces na hopefully they work. Like Jamie Malonzo is one, di ba? And CJ Perez is another. And ang pinaka gusto ko dito is yung backcourt. Kasi I've seen yung 2014 tsaka 2019 team suffer with all the mismatches they had to deal with Jimmy Lapag, with Eli Tenorio. Now, hindi na ganong kalaki. I don't think they need to double up pagdating di sa taas kasi with Scotty there or Dwight or kung sino man yung nasa point guard natin ngayon, I think they're big enough to. My only worry is, sabi ko nga ever since, is perimeter shooting and outside shooting. So hopefully, if they get that right, baka alam niyo naman yung shooting yan eh. There are good days and there are bad days. And kuminsan ang dyan is, kung sino pa yung mga hindi shooter, bigla na lang one day, someone throws 33 pointers against a USA team and it loses, di ba? May mga, as you see, Homer, there are days like that. So, sana magmilagro yung Biyernes, bukas, magmilagro sa Monday against Angola, and we'll all be happy. So right now, I wish Gilas and Coach Shot, Gilas the best of luck, and I'm very positive. Alam ko the odds against this team, but at the same time, I think we have we stand the chance of at least being competitive against these three teams, only because we have a very good team in our hands. Maraming salamat po. And now for the final word in this POV, I leave it up to our columnist, Homer Simpson.
The one thing I like the most about this assemblage of talent, Boss Dodo, is Gilas has literally grown in size, di ba? Lumaki tayo. The knock on our teams have always been, height disadvantage and, vertically challenged. But now we have Kai, Japet, Junmar, Edu. It's even our wings, we have Abando, we have Dwight, we have Jamie Malonzo. So I like that. That's the thing. The size, we are, we're not quite there yet because sabi nga ni Coach Yengyao, when they played at Jones Cup, in every position, they were 3 inches shorter. So
yes.
we'd still be shorter when we get to Dominican Republic, Angola, Italy, but we have somehow caught up a little bit. So yun. And then in the talent, we've also caught up because of Jordan and with Dwight, Kai, who have international exposures, all of them. And yun then, the shooting, I agree with you, the shooting. miracles happen. You know, I remember, I mean, most of our listeners siguro must don't remember the time when Northern Consolidated lost to Masagana 99 with Don Ampalayo and
Yeah.
the point guard who's an analyst on TV, Ronnie Magsanok.
Ronnie
So
Magsanok.
if they could, you know, like Denver beat Seattle in first round of the series in the NBA playoffs in 1992, I think, if memory serves right, and they could not miss a shot even if they tried. So, you know, who knows, di ba? May 50,000 people at Field Sports Arena. But then through all this, the drama I think the unsung hero is the SBP. It had been pelted and deservedly so because of their mistakes in the past. But I think Boss Dodo, as we've seen behind the scenes with the Jordan drama and the Clarkson drama, SBP really did a good job. Did a good job on fixing what needed to be fixed, bringing the talent that we needed to bring to give our coaching staff the best available talents in there, uniting the stakeholders, and I think they deserve a good. They deserve also they deserve the credit that they often do not get. So yun na, there's so many. I'm tempted to tell all the stories about Ray Parks behind the scenes, Kai, Jordan, but let's put it behind us for now and let's put this in the back burner. One nation, one team, supportahan natin ang Gilas and hopefully, you know, kung may miracle on ice, baka may miracle at Phil Sports. So at Philippine Arena, I mean. So hopefully Gilas will do well, and even if they don't, it's still our team. We still love them. We'll support them, and we just hope na magandang resulta bukas. So on that note, thank you for having me, Boss Dodo, and salamat sa mga listeners ng Spin and sa lahat ng nagsusunod sa mga articles namin doon. Thank you, Boss.
One last, before we go, I'd just like to add one more piece of information.
Yes.
Alam niyo ho, I was around long enough to be with the Team Cone. You remember that 98 Centennial team?
Yes.
I think I covered that one. Nung nanalo sila ng Jones Cup, and I was with Team Cone, I was with Alvin Patrimonio, Berhel Meneses was there, Johnny Abarentes was there, and Olsen. You should have seen how happy yung mga kababayan natin sa Taiwan when they won the Jones Cup there. I remember interviewing Team Cone during the bus rides, in the hotel lobby, and alam nyo, yung dream ni Team Cone was to have a team that's big enough to compete internationally, a Philippine team that's big enough to compete internationally, and at the same time be skilled and athletic enough to keep up with yung mga Americans and other basketball powers here. No? And natatawa ako kasi at that time
Wishful thinking, you see.
Put together a big team. Kasi nandun si Marlo, you remember there was Marlo.
Marlakino, yes.
He tried to bring in Andy Siegel, pero I think nagka-problema yung mga ni Andy Siegel. EJ File, imagine yung mga 7-footer like EJ File. Nilagay niya din sa team only because he wanted a really, really big team there to compete against the Chinese and the Koreans, di ba? And we all know yung limitations at that time.
Yes.
Limitations of Marlo in terms of agility, di ba?
Yes.
And I'd like to, when all this is over, I'd like to hear his opinion on this team. Kasi for the first time, di ba?
Yeah, he has the tools.
You have skilled and agile big men like Junmar, AJ Edu on this team. And rin, di ba? Isipin mo, Kai Soto, and of course, Japet, di ba? You can see how athletic all these sport players are. Yes. And malaki sila. And as you mentioned in your final word, di ba? Isipin mo yung Dwight Ramos is what? 6'4", 6'5", and
yes,
he can
6'4".
Di ba? Jamie Malonzo is 6'5", dati sentro na sa PBA, and
Yeah, yes. Gidabin, 6'5".
So, I'm very interested to see what's running on Coach Tim's mind now. That parang realization of a dream.
Yeah, what 25 years ago, wishful thinking lang, di ba? And now...
Yeah, exactly 25 years ago from the 1998 Bangkok Asian Games. So, napaka-exciting times for Philippine basketball, and we're all here to cover the event, and hopefully Maraming good news show, and more than the bad news, maraming good news show we will bring to you. Not only us, but the whole staff of Spin will be dedicated to this World Cup. And Homer will be, as usual, will be providing the exciting tidbits from things that we don't see, diba? From yung mga inside negotiations that will happen. I'm sure Homer will be there. Snow will be helping out. Jerry, Ruben, Carl. I think we have an 8-man team covering the World Cup. Apat sa MOA Arena and apat sa Araneta
Sports.
Police.
Yeah.
So lahat sila andun sa finals. So our sleeves are rolled up. We're all ready to go.
Ikaw, boss, you're not going?
No, I'll be ako yung taong bahay, but
Nasa command center, kumbaga.
bringing all these stories to you. So, Homer, thank you for your nandito ka.
Pleasure's mine.
And Snow kanina, and kahit nilayasan tayo ng maaga kasi mawala na yung mga talent niya. And sa inyo lahat, nakita ko na naman yung mga numbers, ang daming comments, ang daming heart, ang daming likes, and as usual, napaka-appreciative namin sa mga basketball fans who tune in. And most of all, yung mga basketball fans who na napaka-knowledgeable. Kasi pag nakaka-encounter kami ng knowledgeable na fans, we're happy kasi yun yung trabaho namin. We want you all to, we're giving you all this information, kuminsan disguised as rumors dahil nga di namin masabi forthright. Dahil we want you to, when you form an opinion in your mind about a team, about a coach, about a player, even a player you hate, we want you to be informed. So,
yes, yun.
Tapos,
part of our job, besides just reporting, boss, is to also be a tool, an instrument to educate them. Some people say Marites, ganito, ganon, but it's our job to actually pry those facts. Because none of them, like for instance, kung wala tayong mga insiders sa SBP, none of this would come out in the open, di ba? So importante yun. In journalism, we call that sourcing. Kaya importante. And then it's music to our ears na yung mga fans nagbibigay ng feedback na educated din na in a forum. I know sometimes hindi natin makontrol. We have people na, napipikonsist, but that's just the world we live in. So i-filter na lang natin and we just shine a light on those who are actually good and who are, just concentrating on the issues, not on the persons. At saka walang name calling. Di ba, boss?
Yes. Maraming salamat, Homer. Maraming salamat po sa inyo.
Thank you.
And again, thank you for sticking around and watching Spin POV. Good luck, Gilas. And salamat sa inyo.
Good luck.